evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to continuing coverage of the World of Thunder Esports League here on Ultimate Dirt TV. I am Zach Newton, joined by Iowa racing legend Jerry Van Sickle for the Mimi's Makings in Motion Super Late Model Dirt Series. And Jerry, this has got to feel like homecoming as we've got about 30 seconds left in qualifying for the Super Late Models as we are in an Iowa track here at Knoxville. Are you familiar with the Knoxville Raceway?
I think I've heard of that place. Is it like a half-mile race? Yeah, it's ringing. I think I maybe drove by it once. Yes, the sprint car capital of the world, right here in the heart of Iowa, the heart of the Midwest. And, of course, the Mimi's Makings in Motion Super Late Models on hand here on the big half-mile at the virtual Marion County Fairgrounds. Of course, the sprint car capital of the world, home of the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. And, yes, Zach, you are correct. It's 32 minutes and 41 seconds from my front door.
See, there you go. Drew Hopkins, a Kentucky driver, the Rocket sets quick time with 18.255. Blake Majulis, Mason Clark, Devin Cardwell, and Evan C. The rest of your top five. Only 3 heats in the Super Late Models this evening. We get ready to start this party properly. On the pole for heat number 1 is the Rockcastle Rocket out of Mount Vernon, Kentucky. That's Drew Hopkins in the 157 for DHR Racing. Outside of him, his teammate at DHR, the 70 of Devin Cardwell.
There she is, the first lady of the Supers. That's Jennifer Hans in the $1 Million Motorsports 011. And Dustin Hall out of the Plains region in the 331.
California Modified standout Jerry Flippo in the 13 for D1RT starts in the inside row number 3. Outside of him, it's the Blue Deuce. CJ Howell starting 6th in the 2.
Driving the 56 machine, that's Brad Dyer out of the Mid-South region. And it's Shad Prescott in the OT 41 from the Plains region.
Shotgun on the field in the Double Deuce. It's Brennan Weeks for the Mid-South Dirt Slingers. The 22 lines up 9th in your first, again, of 3 heat races. 8 laps the distance top. How many transfer, Brett Wheeler? You're the man with the plan. Top 3 will transfer, and then we'll set the rest of the field through the alphabet soup. Coming up in just a little bit, again, 8 laps the distance here at Knoxville. We've seen some great racing so far. Evan C. picked up the win in the UMP Modifieds just a few moments ago. That's our first open setup series. And who was that, Brett? Devin Cardwell is on the outside of the front row in this heat race. Those 2 DHR black and orange entries. Those wraps look good, and I know because I painted them. It's the 157 of Drew Hopkins, the 70 of Devin Cardwell for DHR 157 Drew Hopkins Racing.
Out of curiosity, because I have a cat, and I'm not going to try to kill it, but how do you paint a wrap?
So I'll give you a little insight into my process, and it's the process you'll hear Tanner Folds uses. You start in Adobe Illustrator, and you make the design and all the logos, and then you transfer it into Photoshop, and then through the magic of computers, you save that as a certain type of file, and iRacing turns that into a race car in all 3 dimensions there on your screen.
So no painting involved.
No actual painting involved. I do draw a lot of stuff, but on computers, not on paint. So I didn't know
if he was a Bob Ross or if you like to do drawings.
No, I can't, Jerry. I can't draw to save my life. Drew Hopkins leads into turn 1. His teammate Devin Cardwell going to follow suit. Jennifer Hans in that last transfer spot, but she's got Dustin Hall for Slick Sim Sport. Jerry Flippo for D1RT breathing down her neck. HRE's bad. Brad Dyer back there in the 56. He's looking to get involved as Drew Hopkins has his teammate all over his back bumper as they work lap number 2, Jerry.
Zach, I don't care if you're Bob Ross or Simon. You got them 2 hot rods looking looking good out front. Hopkins and Cardwell. Cardwell now going to look to the inside here at the big half mile. They'll work down on the berm on the bottom side of the racetrack. Coming down underneath Justin Clark's flag stand. Down into turn number 1. Look at this. It is wheel to wheel, hub to hub. Off of 2 past the museum. Down the back straightaway. What a battle you've got for the lead.
Absolutely. These 2 are putting on a show. We saw 2 D1RT drivers in Jerry Flippo and Blake Bajulis get a little physical in the UMP Modifieds for a heat race win. We'll see if Devin Cardwell behaves himself with his boss currently leading. As we go on back into the field, Dustin Hall is taking that final transfer spot from Jennifer Hans. Now Jerry Flippo is going to look to the inside of her for that 4th spot. Still a ways to go for Flippo to get into the show as Dustin Hall starts to pull away from those 2 out in front, though. Still Drew Hopkins leading with Devin Cardwell right there in his hip pocket.
Great battle for a transfer. Well, not a transfer, but a better starting spot in a B or a C main tonight. But meanwhile, up front, your race leaders, as we are going to come with 3 to go this time. It'll be Hopkins and Cardwell, top 2. Dustin Hall, that's your third and final transfer. Cardwell all over him like a dirty shirt, down in following the tire tracks off of turn number 2, down the back straightaway. We'll be looking at that battle for the lead here in the winding laps of this one.
They'll come to Justin Clark with the popsicle sticks in the air. It'll be 2 to go this time by. Hopkins continues to lead. It's a great run for the Catfish out of Mount Vernon, Kentucky in that 157 machine. He's led flag to flag so far, but he's had Davin Cardwell all over him. You got to think they're probably sharing setup notes, and if they're sharing setup notes and they run away like this in our first heat race, you'd like to think that Drew Hopkins might be able to do the same here in the feature. What a show they put on the white flag waves, Jerry. 1 to go.
White flag, and they go down the back straightaway off of turn 2. It'll be the 157 machine of Drew Hopkins, still your leader. Cardwell, Hall, that's your top 3. Cardwell's going to take one little stab and grab at the bottom side. Not going to happen off of turn number 4. It's Hopkins, Cardwell, and Hall. 1, 2, and 3 onto the A main.
So a well-behaved 9-car first heat race. We go to our official results here. For the Mimi's Makings in Motion Super Late Model Dirt Series, heat race number 1. The official results coming on your screen. Waiting on one car, I think, to cross the line. There we go. Limps across the line. The results are in. Drew Hopkins, your winner. Davin Cardwell for Drew Hopkins Racing comes on second. Dustin Hall for Slick Sim Sports third. Hans Flippo, Hal Weeks, Prescott, and Dyer will head to Alphabet Soup. Should just be a C and a B main this evening, I believe, as we line up heat race number 2, Jerry. On the pole.
Let's go ahead and take a look. It's Blake Majulis out of New York in the 127 up on the front row to his outside. Like we said, just picked up the modified portion of our Sunday Fun Day here at on the watch party. That is Evan C. in the 33.
John Ruggiero Jr. for D1RT out of Carolina lines up third in the 44. Outside of him, the rocket, it's Tanner Folds in the 15 for Tanner Folds Racing and HRE.
Going to go to row number 3 to the inside. It's Brandon Freeberg out of Illinois in the 171 and Dixon Slinger in the Full Throttle Performance 5-1.
2 Kentucky drivers make up row number 4. It's Bobby Mattingly in the 3M machine starting 7th. Outside of him, it's the Newton Cattle Farms Racing number 12 of Ben Countermarsh. And shotgun on the field, the 92 for the Mid-South Dirt Slingers. That's Corey Austin will start 9th as we get ready to line up our second 8-lap heat race. And, Jerry, we normally get to watch Blake Majulis and Evan C. tangle in a B or in our A mains. We're going to see it for 8 laps here in this heat race for starting position in the big show.
Well, I guarantee you, Tia is all over Blake for not being quick time here this night in the supers. As good looking skins on that 127. But we'll see this one. Majulis C, Ruggiero and Fold. That's your front 2 rows. Taking a look there, great field. Like we said, what do we got? 27 of them here tonight at Knoxville. 27 super late models this evening in the Mimi's Makings in Motion Super Late Model Dirt Series that took time as we get the pace truck out of the way. Blake Majulis and Ruggiero get great starts to the inside. Evan C. kind of caught sleeping at the wheel, folds straight lines into turn 1. That's going to be interesting to keep an eye on back there as Evan C. gets back to the outside of Ruggiero down the back straightaway for second. He's chasing Majulis. They're both in red and white cars. They're going to get tough to tell apart here at the big half mile at Knoxville. Blake Majulis leads lap 1, but Evan C.'s coming and coming fast. Majulis C and Ruggiero, that's your top 3. Taking a look right behind him, there you see Fold, Slinger, and Freeberg. Those guys duking it out. Now they will go fence post formation down into turn number 3 and 4. Blake Majulis still working that machine on up front. Now look at this. John Ruggiero Jr., the 44, starting to size up the 33 of Evan C. C's got company as Ruggiero coming to the inside as they drag race to turn number 3.
Yeah, great battle into turn 3 for the bridesmaid spot. Ruggiero slides up the racetrack across Evan C.'s nose. C gets a little bit of the bumper of Ruggiero. He's going to fall back to third. And Blake Majulis continues to lead, starts to walk away, and Tanner Folds now hitching his wagon to this star. He's going to look to battle for that final transfer spot that Evan C. is currently holding.
They worked their way back there to the west end of the speedway off of turn number 4. Laps winding down on this one. It is still Blake Majulis, your race leader, but look at this. John Ruggiero has got a handful of that 33 of Evan C. He put him back to third, but I know he's not wanting to stay there long as he'll look to the bottom of the racetrack. Field will work off a turn number 4 this time. Going to be looking at 3 remaining, and speaking of 3, here comes that 33 of Evan C. Not of the 2 spot. White castles it to the top. He'll take that runner-up position, but look at this. Ruggiero back to the inside.
Yeah, what a war being waged for that runner-up spot. Ruggiero going to throw another slider. Evan C is going to run the veteran line. Cut down underneath him as they come down the front straightaway out of turn number 4. Evan C in second. Ruggiero and Blake Majulis not out of the woods yet as they have closed in despite the ferocity of this battle for second place as we come to the white flag this time by Jerry.
They'll work their way off at turn number 3 and 4. White flag coming. Here comes Evan C to the inside. He almost gets numbers deep with the 127 of Blake Majulis. Majulis, they're going to capitalize on the hitch and the giddy up off of the 33 of C. Final 2 turns coming at you. They'll lay him down there into turn number 3 and 4. It is Majulis to the top shelf. Evan C on the bottom. Bring him down. Checkers waving. It'll be Majulis, C, and Ruggiero. 1, 2, 3. And fourth one out will be Tanner Folds. Great heat race number 2 here in the Mimi's Super Late Model Series event. The stop here at the Knoxville Raceway. Zach, I know we've got results coming. Run us through.
Yeah, Blake Majulis picks up the heat race win by 25 hundredths of a second over Evan C. John Ruggiero Jr. comes home comfortably in third. Folds, Freeberg, Slinger, Countermarsh, Mattingly, and Austin. They'll go to your consolation events coming up here in just a few moments as we get ready to line up our third and final 8-lap heat race. They're gridded there to the inside of the front stretch, and it's Mason Clark on the pole in that 22 machine for Carter Speed. Outside of him, it's D1RT driver out of New York, the 35 of Nick Cooper.
Taking a look at row number 2 to the inside, the Hawkeye State racer himself, second-generation driver out of Harlan, Iowa. That's Hagen Sorensen in the 45, and his outsides. To his outside, well, it's not his fault. It's Dustin Sizemore in the Speed Inc. $1 million number 23.
2 HRE drivers out of the Newton Cattle Farm stable make up row number 3. That's Chase Hardy out of Winchester, Virginia. The Winchester Wildman in the 49 for a whole slew of sponsors on that car. Toter Family Racing included among them. And then the boss man to the outside for Newton Cattle Farms Racing and HRE in the 23 machine. That's Ethan Toter.
Hey, going to the next 3 starters. It'll be James Grace in the 269, the $1 million motorsports ride. Aaron Kitchens in the 17 and starting shotgun back there in the drag slot all by himself. That's Jack Weaver in the 34. So there's your 9 cars here for your third and final heat race at the Sprint Car Capital of the World.
Yeah, the big fendered cars taking over the Sprint Car territory for the evening here in this one. We saw some great racing. In the modified show, we've seen some great racing here so far as Clark and Cooper will lead the field to green. You got Sorensen and Sizemore, Hardy and Toter, Grace, Kitchen, and Weaver. It looks like may not have made the grid, so it may just be 8 starters in this one. As we get ready to go 8 laps, Jerry, should be a good show here for the fans.
Tell you, as you watch those cars work off of turn number 2 back there, I've had many nights, thanks to the great folks at Fleck & Son Trucking that have sat back there, and Bob Baker and the gang been hospitality-wise back there at the Hall of Fame. But man, when those late models come off of that turn number 2 and you're sitting back there right on top of the racetrack, just like they are right now, it is a fantastic view of these folks you're seeing from the Hall of Fame and Museum for that race for second. The 45 of Sorensen working to the inside. Young racer to the number 2 spot.
Absolutely. Ethan Toter down there in the dirt with Chase Hardy behind him to the inside of Sizemore. Still on the outside looking in, but Toter may have something figured out as he's gone from 6th starting spot up to 4th in a hurry, and he's looking to the inside of Nick Cooper. He might be the fastest car on the racetrack. That red and black number 23 machine is hooked up around the bottom of this racing surface. Mason Clark leads Hagen Sorensen and Nick Cooper, but Toter's coming, and he's bringing his teammate Chase Hardy in the 49 with him.
On down the back straightaway, it is Hagen Sorensen in a runner-up spot. Cooper, Toter, Sizemore. That is 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Mason Clark is Gone gone on this one. It's now the battle for the transfer. Here comes Cooper to the inside. Cooper going to let her slide on up as they hustle now. Crossover move coming out of Cooper. Toter to the number 3 spot. Toter, the third and final spot. It is going to be on like Donkey Kong for that third and final spot. Here we come down the front straight away.
They pass under the cross sticks from the flag man. Halfway down, halfway to go. Mason Clark still leads. Hagen Sorensen, the Iowa native, they're in second. But Ethan Toter, those two red and black cars, the 45 and the 23, they're about to be side by side as we come off 4. I don't know what Toter has cooked up in the hauler in the pits, but he's got something. He's found it, and he's making it work around the bottom side in 3 and 4, through the middle in turns 1 and 2. And he is coming for Hagen Sorensen. Mason Clark all the way gone on a Sunday night stroll here at Knoxville. But it's the battle for the rest of those transfer spots is currently hot and heavy, as now Dustin Sizemore's got himself involved. He looks to the inside of Cooper as we've got 2 to go, Jerry.
You see it, working it up over the cushion. Nick Cooper going back into the number 4 spot. Mason Clark, he's on a trip already to the rib shack, looking for something to eat. As the white flag comes out, he is out front by half a straightaway. Hagen Sorensen, got to get on the bike and pedal that thing if you're going to catch him. But right now you're in the runner-up spot and you're in a transfer. They'll make their way down into turn number 3 and 4, looking for the checkered flag from Justin Clark. This time it's Mason Clark to the win in the double deuce. Hagen Sorensen and Ethan Toter punch that ticket to tonight's A-Main.
Absolutely. We go to our official results here in just a second. They'll pop up on your screen as one of our B mains lines up. Maybe our only B main lines up. We get ready to go. We're waiting on those Heat 3 results. It is Mason Clark, Hagen Sorensen, and Ethan Toter to the big show. Sizemore, Cooper, Kitchen, Grace, Hardy, and Weaver will head to the B main. We will get that sorted for you here. They're lining that up right now. And the top 13 drivers in this will head to the big show. And on the pole, it's the First Lady of Dirt for $1 Million Motorsports, Jennifer Hans. Outside of her, it's the North Georgia Rocket in the 15. That's Tanner Folds.
Here we go. Dustin Sizemore in the 23, the Speed Incorporated $1 Million Motorsports 23, and Jerry Flippo off the left coast in the 13 car.
Brandon Freeberg out of Illinois lines up in 5th in the 17-1 machine. Outside of him, it's Nick Cooper for D1RT out of New York in the 35.
They roll off 7th and 8th. It's CJ Howell in the deuce and Dixon Slinger in the 5-1, the FTP Hot Rod.
Aaron Kitchen will line up in the 9th starting spot. Outside of him, it's the 22 of Brennan Weeks for the Mid-South Dirt Slingers.
Going to starters 11 and 12. It's Ben Countermarsh in the 12, driving the Newton Cattle Farms Racing entry, and James Grace, the 269 $1 Million Motorsports entry.
13th starting spot is the D1RT entry of Shad Prescott. Outside of him, it's Kentucky driver Bobby Mattingly in the 3M.
Going to run number, that'd be next. That's 8. That is Chase Hardy out of the Virginia region in the 99. And from Mid-South, it's Brad Dyer in the 56.
Corey Austin in the 92 is the inside of the 9th row. Outside of him, Jack Weaver for the Mid-South Dirt Slingers in the 34. Austin, a Mid-South Dirt Slinger entry as well. So we get ready to line this B main up. The top 13 drivers go to the big show. That'll give us a 22-car starting field. 5 of these guys will pack up and head home, or at least unload their pro late models for that series coming up in a few minutes. But the front row, Jennifer Hans on the pole, Tanner Folds to her outside. Going to be plenty of fun coming your way. 2 cars did not grid, Brendan Weeks and Jack Weaver. As we get this underway, Jennifer Hans gets us on the loud pedal down the front straightaway. Dustin Sizemore going to follow behind her, and she's going to lead into turn 1. Tanner Folds looks to the outside of Sizemore, and they may have made some contact. That's going to let Jerry Flippo get up in there. Nick Cooper and a whole bunch of guys make contact. We've got chaos breaking out. I see Countermarsh get through. I think Chase Hardy might have got through there as well. A whole bunch of guys get involved, and we have a yellow flag already in this one.
Caution flag out. And I tell you what, you can turn 2 at Knoxville narrows up real quick coming off of there. And I've seen it in a sprint car. I've seen it in a modified and a late model. This right here is what happens. Boom, the outside narrows up. The guy in the middle gets stuck. The guy off the bottom says, hey, I'm sorry, I had nowhere to go. I've seen modifieds roll down back there at that opening where the water trucks and equipment are off the backside of the racetrack at the Duncan store. And it's weird, guys, how that track will narrow off of turn 2. I can't, it happens in real life. And as you saw here on the Ultimate Dirt TV replay, It happens in sim racing too.
There you have it. An expert. I myself have never made the trip out to Knoxville, Iowa. Want to at some point, but have not yet. But Iowa native Jerry Van Sickle here in the booth with me, Zach Newton, giving you all kinds of some real inside baseball stuff there, Jerry. I appreciate it.
Yeah. My first trip to Knoxville was my birthday in 1985. I got to go to the Saturday night portion of the Knoxville Nationals with my dad. So that was my first trip to Knoxville. I've actually had the pleasure of announcing modifieds and late models and some stock car action down there years ago. So it's neat. Everybody, and I don't care if it's on Sims or if it's in real life, everybody wants to race at Knoxville. It's just that anytime you announce that there's something other than sprint cars going to be at Knoxville, people flock to that place. There's no doubt about it, with the heritage and the history of that historic half mile in southern Iowa.
Absolutely. The pace truck pulls off. We're back underway. Jennifer Hans continues to lead Dustin Sizemore. Jerry Flippo and Tanner Folds do battle for that third and final podium spot. Again, 13 drivers will transfer out of the big show. So Bobby Mattingly, currently the man on the bubble. A couple drivers already off the track, so only 3 guys will go home. Again, 13 will transfer. Jennifer Hahn's going to continue to lead as the cross flags are in the air. Halfway home.
Now they'll work them on down. First Lady of Dirt working her up there. Her super is fast tonight. Jennifer Hans, Dustin Sizemore, now Flippo and Folds. They will duke it out. Battle for third on a racetrack right behind your race leaders. They'll work on down into turn number 3 and 4. It's Flippo, Folds, and now Howell has brought his machine to the bottom side of Flippo. Look at this. CJ Howell trying to make his way around in a better starting spot in tonight's A main as they thunder down the back straightaway.
Good showing from Ben Cowder-Marsh, looking to the inside of Aaron Kitchen. That's the battle for 6th. You've got a battle for 5th still raising as CJ Howell now looks to the inside of Tanner Folds. That's the battle for 4th. Jerry Flippo has caught Dustin Sizemore. There's about to be a battle for 2nd on hand. Knoxville starting to get very racy here as we get into the latter stages of this B main. It'll be 2 to go this time by. Jennifer Hans has led from green till now. We'll see if she can hold on. 2 laps to go.
We'll see what happens. Like we said, top 11 going, so only 3 of them on the racetrack going home as 2 already loaded up and working on pros. Down the back straightaway, it's still hot. Sizemore, Flippo, Folds, Howell. That's your top 5. Now look at this. Here comes CJ Howell to the inside of the 15 of Tanner Folds. This is your battle down the front straightaway. White flag is waving. One final trip to see who's going to start where in tonight's A main. Jennifer Hans, she's going to have a nice up towards the front starting spot as she works her way off of turn number 4. She will roll off in the 10th starting spot tonight by picking up the B-main win.
Absolutely. Whole lot of drag racing to the line off of turn 4. We'll go to our official results to see who lands where. A great race on back. Jennifer Hans on a nice little Sunday evening stroll there to victory lane in that B-main. As we go to our official results here. And it is Hans again winning by 6/10 over Dustin Sizemore. Jerry Flippo comes home 3rd, Tanner Folds in 4th, and CJ Howell rounds out your top 5. Then Kitchen, Cowdermarsh, Cooper, Hardy, Shad, Prescott, Brad, Dyer, Slinger, and Austin will punch their ticket to the show. Freeburg, Mattingly, Grace, and Weeks and Weaver, who did not grid, they will transfer to the trailer. They'll pack up and go home. As that excited baby in my ear on Brett's microphone means it's time for us to take a quick commercial break while we run the track in and warm-ups here for just a couple minutes. Stick around. We'll be back for the Mimi's Makings in Motion Super Late Model Dirt Series A main, live from Knoxville, only on Ultimate Dirt TV.
Welcome back to Mimi's Makings in Motion. Super late models. And man, I tell you what, they make you need it, they got it. Any kind of that promotional stuff, the neat things, they'll get you fixed up at Mimi's. Make sure and check them out. Beautiful 77 degrees, clear with a 2-mile-an-hour wind here. And you know what, Zach? I am glad to know that the dingo did not get Brett's baby. So we're ready for tonight's starting lineup. And it goes from back to front this way. 20-second starter. Oh, sorry. I was
fire away, Jerry. You're excited.
Oh, you go. Now we're in trouble. Corey
okay,
Austin in the 92, rolling off in the double deuce spot. 21st is Dixon Slinger, the full throttle performance 51.
Brad Dyer in the 56 for HRE will start in 20th to his inside D1RT driver Shad Prescott in the 41.
Going to the 18th and 17th starters from the right side of that road will be the 99 of Chase Hardy, and to the left side, the 35 of Nick Cooper.
Chase Hardy's teammate Ben Countermarsh starts one row in front of him in 16th and the 12 for Newton Cattle Farms Racing. To his inside, it's Aaron Engine Kitchen in the 17 starting 15th.
Here we go to your 14th place starter, CJ Howell and Tanner Folds. That's the deuce in the 15 inside and outside of row number 7.
Starting in row number 6, it's Jerry Flippo in the 13 entry for D1RT out of California. Inside of him, it's all his fault. Dustin Sizemore for Speeding. $1 Million Motorsports in the 11th.
Starting off in 10th, it is the $1 Million Motorsports. Jennifer Hans, 011, and Ethan Toter, the Newton Cattle Farms Racing 29 entry.
Starting in 8th, it's John Ruggiero for D1RT in the 44. Inside of him, Slick Sim Sports driver Dustin Hall in the 331 will start 7th, the inside of row 4.
Taking a look at your first 6 starters out of Harlan, Iowa, it's Hagen Sorensen, 13-year-old racer there in the 45, and his outside, it is the 33, Evan C.
Well, the Catfish Drew Hopkins has got to be happy with the 2 DHR entries starting in the top 4. Davin Cardwell in the 70 goes 4th. Inside of him for Carter Speed in the 22, it's Mason Clark.
Let's take a look at your front row, starting to the right side, out of New York, driving the 127. It's Blake Majulis, and on the pole as the green flag comes out, here we go, Drew Hopkins going to lead the field on down into turn number 1 and 2, off a 2 down the back straightaway, Hopkins, Majulis, Cardwell, Sorensen going to tag on into the number 4 spot, and caution is out. Caution is out, not sure if we had a good starter if they were crashing up in behind us, Zach.
Not sure. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back here. Sorry to interrupt you there, Jerry. We're back here at Knoxville. We've had some technical difficulties, lost power to the production truck, but we are back live. We will have timing and scoring updated here in just a moment. We'll do our best to call the action without it, though. As you see, Nick Cooper for D1RT, there goes to the outside. Countermarsh slides up the racetrack in front of him into the wall. Cooper going to get a good run to the outside of Chase Hardy. You see Folds and CJ Howell in front of them doing battle. Great racing all the way around Knoxville Raceway right now. As out in front, I believe, your leader, as soon as the production truck flicks over there, we can get a good look at the front of the field here. We've got a yellow flag. Majulis out in front now of Drew Hopkins, but we are under caution. Again, still trying to get this stuff sorted out for you here in just a moment. We apologize for the break in the broadcast. And there we have timing and scoring back underway. We'll get that updated in just a minute for you. Get that all squared away. Blake Majulis is your leader. Jerry back with us as well. Jerry Van Sickle. And Jerry, good to have you in the booth, man.
It's a good old time here at the sprint car capital of the world. It took me a little longer to get my feedback up than it did you. Now, I will tell you, and I were talking before we got back up, this is not my first time of announcing at Knoxville and having this exact thing happen where we lost power. I was doing the Harris Clash years ago, and all of a sudden that broadcast went dead because apparently there were some electrical gremlins in the tower, and apparently the dingo got the electricity cord down in Australia, mate.
Oh, Jerry, I love that you keep going back to the dingo. It's
dingoes. It was like a kangaroo come hopping along and scared the dingo and probably screwed up. I mean, that's probably not my best Australia. It's something other than my Iowa accent.
Jerry, have you seen the picture of the absolutely cut, like terrifying muscular kangaroo that apparently just roams around?
That dude walks up and just punches it because it's got the dog. No, are we talking two different things?
Well, we might be. I don't know. There's a picture on the internet of just a yoked out kangaroo.
It makes me think of Brett every time I see it, because that would be his kangaroo.
Absolutely. Back underway, working lap 5 of 40 in this one. Drew Hopkins back on point. For Blake Majulis looking to the inside. Davin Cardwell running in third. You see Clark Ruggiero rounding out your top 5. Jerry Flippo now going to poke his nose into the top 5 there as he's going to work to the outside of his D1RT teammate John Ruggiero. There's a whole lot of action all over the racetrack, Jerry. Starting to get good here at Knoxville.
She's going to size them on up down the front straight away. It is Jerry Flippo working there in the number 5 spot. Look at this Majulis. Honk. Horn is blowing. It's time to come to the front. Can he do it? He'll lay that 127 down to the inside of the racetrack. To the outside is Hopkins. Hopkins going to watch him take it down the front straightaway. Majulis to the lead.
Well, we call Drew Hopkins the catfish because he's always down there in the mud around the bottom of the racetrack. He opts to go to the high side here in Knoxville, and it winds up biting him as Majulis gets underneath and makes the pass. He's now there in front of his teammate, Davin Cardwell. It's 2 DHR cars chasing D1RT's Blake Majulis for the top 3 spots. They're 3 wide on back as Cooper and Folds make contact. CJ Howe climbs the wall. We keep it straight and narrow. We stay green, and we keep on going. Chad Prescott making a great run up through the field, started close to the tail. He's now looking to the inside of Tanner Folds for 10th. We've got a 3-wide battle there. Chase Hardy looks to the inside of Nick Cooper and the number 51 entry of Dixon Slinger down the front straightaway. That is the battle for 7th.
They'll work him on back there. 7th on back. 8th place runner, 99 at Chase Hardy up on the top of the racetrack. John Ruggiero working it just ahead of them. It is Hardy, Slinger, Folds. Oh, you got one in. Tanner Folds going to grab the outside retaining wall. It's a hustle on down. There you see him into turn number 1 and 2. Ruggiero, Hardy working the 5, 6, 7, and 8 battle right now down the back straightaway.
Chase Hardy has pulled clear in that 7th spot of Nick Cooper and Dixon Slinger. He starts to track down the number 44 entry of John Ruggiero Jr. He's got a little bit of a gap there as we look at Mason Clark running in 4th, holding off a challenge from Jerry Flippo. They're running that slider line up in front of the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum. And down the back straightaway here, Blake Majulis continues to lead as we work lap number 12. It'll be lap 13 when they pass under the flag stand. Drew Hopkins and Davin Cardwell to the other 2 podium drivers giving chase.
They'll work him on down. It's still Majulis, Hopkins, and Cardwell. Cardwell right back there in the number 3 spot. Davin working it tough. Of course, Davin had huge success earlier this season in some big money shows during pandemic time as he works it back there in the number 3 spot. Mason Clark is 4th, but everybody, like they do every Sunday, it seems, chasing Majulis, and now Ruggiero on the hunt.
Well, the thing we normally have been talking about at Knoxville every time the World of Thunder visited here is Evan C., and he's currently mired back in the middle of the pack, running 12th now as we work to lap number 15 as Blake Majulis crosses under the flag stand down here at the far eastern side of the Knoxville front straightaway. It's Mason Clark now. Oh, we've got a caution flag out, and we'll have to go to a UDTV instant replay to see what brings that yellow out. That's going to bunch the field back up and do a lot of these guys a big favor of closing some big gaps that had opened up. Nick Cooper is the culprit here. There you see Evan C. and Brad Dyer battling. Cooper Looks like he's going to go to the bottom of the racetrack. Shad Prescott gets underneath him and turns him around. Those are D1RT teammates. So that's nobody's happy about that. And then Toter and Aaron Kitchen and Hagen Sorensen get caught up in that. An unfortunate break for those drivers. But it is Nick Cooper that brings out the caution flag.
Yeah, just took a look up under the skirt, and you watch it right here as it's Ethan Toter right there, gets her in there, and then all of a sudden, hang tight. Things are going to get a little, well, he might have got a little crossed up. Boom! There, the wreck's already happened in front of us. And then it's when you wreck a late model at Knoxville, whether it's on this thing or in person, because I watched it last year or 2 years ago at the Late Model Nationals. I can't remember who stuffed it in the fence, just about that same spot. Turn 3 on a Thursday night, just totally destroyed a car and was done for the Late Model Nationals. So taking a look here as we are back ready to go to the green. 14 of 40 in the books. Majulis, your leader.
Drew Hopkins still running in second. Mason Clark and Davin Cardwell will make up row number 2 on this restart. We are in for a great show here. Drew Hopkins was quick time in qualifying, won the heat, one walking away. But Blake Majulis controlling restarts is not going to do anybody any favors, and there you see why. And now Davin Cardwell going to look to the inside of the big boss man through turns 1 and 2. Hopkins goes to the high side following Majulis. Majulis totes the left front down the back straightaway here in Knoxville. Looking very quick around the high side. Hopkins going to hold on to second, Cardwell to third.
Cardwell to third, but he is in the grasp of Mason Clark. Clark will race to the outside. Nothing to be had there. You've got it still out front. Blake Majulis, Drew Hopkins, Davin Cardwell, Mason Clark, Jerry Filippo. Now Ruggiero into the number 5 spot. Ruggiero starting to come through the field as he works it back there to the number 5 spot. Mason Clark fourth. Third is Cardwell, Hopkins, and Majulis. There's your front 4 down the front straight away.
Chase Hardy falls back to 9th. He's now in the clutches of the 33 of Evan C., who has started his march to the front of the field in this one. Give the advantage to Hardy. Down the back straightaway for that 9th spot. He's going to look to the inside of his HRE teammate, Brad Dyer. Evan C. going to go to the bottom behind Hardy. Runs about a lane north of where Hardy runs through 3 and 4. Hardy going to hold on to the spot. Look to the inside of Dyer again. He's a bottom feeder, is Chase Hardy. Wants to roll right around the berm here, but that line may be fading as the race goes on. Blake Majulis continues to lead the DHR drivers, Hopkins and Cardwell, in second and third.
They'll work them on down. Look at this great 3-car hustle and tussle. It's going to be Jerry Filippo, Brad Dyer, and Chase Hardy. Holy cow. Look at Jerry Filippo right through the middle of that battle as he'll work it on back up in there as he will come back to the number 6 spot. They work him on down off of turn number 4. Great run here deep in the field.
Good run on back in the tail end of the top 10 for these drivers. Ruggiero Jr. is currently sitting in 5th. He's caught Mason Clark and is going to look for some racing room to his outside. Clark gets a great run into 3, running that slider line, but gets into the wall in 4. Ruggiero going to look to the inside. They drag race down the front straightaway. He's about numbers deep as they head into 1. Slider served Ruggiero. Hot, steamy onions and pickles galore, Jerry.
The crave case was handed out with pleasure by the 44 machine. And well, it's given back. Says, I didn't quite need it. I'm not hungry enough tonight. By that number 22 of Clark. Here's your battle on a racetrack. It is for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It is Ruggiero up on the top side. He will once again take a look at Mason Clark. Oh, they get together. Loosened him up. Took a look up under the skirt. Thought he was going to get some for prom night. Now here comes Filippo back through the midsection. These guys have been after each other for the last 10 laps.
Filippo says he got 30 of them sliders in that box. Might want to have me one. He throws a big one into turn 3 to get around Ruggiero, give him 5th, and now he starts to chase down Mason Clark for 4th. Is another one served, Jerry Van Sickle? Not quite. Filippo comes up a little short, slides back into line behind Mason Clark. That's the battle for 4th. Ruggiero Jr. still back there. They go to the high side through 1 and 2. Clark continues to run the slider line. Filippo and Ruggiero get a great run. The D1RT drivers going to do a little drafting here around Knoxville. Following suit, Ruggiero breaks trend, goes to the high side. Filippo to the bottom. It's a drag race down the front straightaway for 4th.
Still The 13 of Flippo. Now he'll work it down there. Flippo cross the snoot. He gets loose off of 2. That's going to open back to Mason Clark. Clark now Ruggiero coming in. They'll hustle off of turn number 4, working side by side, fan it out 3 deep. Jerry Flippo, the man, he is marred to the top of this thing. Oh, hang on, they get together. Look out, Troubles is boy howdy. Swing for the fence was Flippo. And look at this. Evan C. says, hey, boys, how you been? Just coming to say hi.
Evan C. sneaks through there, tiptoes through the chaos between Clark and Ruggiero that Jerry Flippo caused there by running. Ran that high line. Clark continued to run the slider line. Didn't give Flippo any room. And Flippo had so much momentum, he just carried right through the back of Mason Clark as a yellow flag waves just a little bit past halfway, lap 27 of 40. We get a yellow flag, and if that helps anybody, it helps Evan C.
I will see what happened here as we go on board with Jennifer Hunt. As things get a little
just tangles with CJ Howell there in the blue deuce.
Yes,
And,
got a little things got a little crossed up. She took a look up under the skirt there to see what was going on at the funhouse, and well, you got a little too far up, and then by the help of the nose, around goes the deuce.
Yeah, that's all it takes. You get the nose up under there, and then she maybe got stuck on one of the bars of the chassis there. She gets turned around as well, and she'll go to, I believe, the tail of the longest line for bringing out the caution there as we see, I believe, our 3rd or 4th caution of the evening. Again, we are sorry for the technical difficulties earlier. We've gotten those squared away. There you see Tanner Folds gets a little squirrely and bounces that thing around. That's a new HRE entry for him, thanks to the UDTV Instant Replays. If you'd like to sponsor those, get in touch with Brett Wheeler by messaging the UDTV Facebook page.
Yes.
See a lot of action on those instant replays. Be a good way to get your company out there. Again, UDTV on Facebook, probably where you're watching this broadcast, unless you're on our YouTube channel. We thank you for tuning in, of course, and watching all the World of Thunder Esports League coverage exclusively on Ultimate Dirt TV. Part of Mimi's Makings in Motion Super Sunday. It's the Mimi's Makings in Motion Super Late Model Dirt Series. We'll reset the field here for you. It's Blake Majulis leading Drew Hopkins, Davin Cardwell, Jerry Flippo 4th. Evan C. has made his charge up to 5th. He's coming, Jerry.
We will watch him. Evan C. never count that cat out, as he is deep in the field now, has worked it up into the number 5 spot. Working on past the halfway point, 40 laps the distance in this one as we are 27 in. Majulis going to rock and roll to the race lead. Davin Cardwell. Cardwell's going to take a stab and grab. Can he do it? Yes, he's got that number 2 spot. Not for long, though, as here comes Drew Hopkins. Hopkins back on the inside. Side-by-side action. Evan C. and Jerry Flippo. Flippo, they make contact. The cushion is dangerously close to the outside retaining wall down there in 3 and 4. Now it's a 3-car battle for the 2 spot.
Yeah, 3 guys dancing for the bridesmaid spot. The 2 DHR cars to the outside. A yellow flag going to wave again. And you hate to see that one because we were in for a dandy of a battle there for second. Drew Hopkins to the outside of Davin Cardwell and Evan C. But we'll get on the slowdown mode here. We'll go to another UDTV Instant Replay. Mason Clark, Brad Dyer. Oh, you see Chase Hardy and I think Dustin Hall get together there. Dyer gets crossed up in front of Clark, and then it's just everybody looking under everybody's skirt. Chase Hardy goes around and the caution comes out.
Hagen Sorensen's too young to be looking up under the skirt right there, man. He had a whole it's got the I think that's a 269 going for a big tumble. There's
the 49 of Chase Hardy.
49 Hardy. Yeah, so crashing, bashing, all kinds of carnage here in your A main here at Knoxville.
Chase Hardy was having a great run too, Jerry. You hate to see that for the young driver out of Winchester, Virginia. That's going to be the end of his night. Brad Dyer gets in. He's on his lid as well, as he got crossed up down the front straightaway there and caused that chaos. We go back to our field here again. Blake Majulis still leading with 11 to go. I believe will be the total left remaining, maybe 12 to go. Depends on if the scoring resets us to lap 28 or we stay on 29. But we are under caution here. Just outside of 10 to go. Majulis leads Hopkins, Cardwell, but Jerry, we've talked at length on World of Thunder broadcast about just how good Evan C. is at Knoxville. And part of that is being able to survive all the mess in the back of the pack. But he's coming, Jerry.
Yes, he is. We'll see what we can make happen. I guarantee you. This thing is far from over with 11 to go. We'll have to see what we can make of this one, as it will be elbows up. No doubt about it. We'll be looking for the green flag here momentarily to get this one back underway. Pace truck. There it goes to the infield. Off of turn number 4, but Majulis Hopkins sitting side by side. They'll work on down into turn number 1 and 2. Blake Majulis, Drew Hopkins. Look at this. Evan C. Going to be the meat of the teammate sandwich down the back straightaway. Hopkins back to the number 2 spot. Third right now is Cardwell. C is 4th. Flippo is 5th. Blake Majulis gets a hand out of the air going, see you boys, I got to go. Got to keep this thing on up front as they work down into turn number 1.
Majulis trying to take this one to victory lane here at Knoxville. The two DHR cars currently a black wall between Evan C. and a battle for the lead in those two red and gold cars. Majulis and C both operating this evening. Flippo and Ruggiero both get into the wall. That's going to let the field catch up to them here. Evan C. all over the back of Davin Cardwell, looking for something. We'll see how patient C is. He's got 8 to go. He's running out of time.
Time is working. The sand of the hourglass is coming to an end as they hustle off at turn number 4. Still Majulis, your leader. Hopkins working second. Then it is Cardwell. Then C, Flippo, Ruggiero, Dixon Slinger, Dustin Hall, Ben Countermarch, and Mason Clark. Your top 10 as they thunder into turn number 3 and 4.
Yeah, good show all the way around the racetrack there. You see Countermarch go to the high side, looking around Dustin Hall. That's the battle for 8th. Flippo and Slinger, two real-life UMP modified standouts. They're side by side. That's the battle for 6th. John Ruggiero holding on to that final spot in the top 5. Evan C. still all over the back of Davin Cardwell. Drew Hopkins and Blake Majulis starting to pull away just a little bit. And you got to wonder, is Evan C. out of gas, so to speak? I think he's got fuel to make it to the end. But has he run out of stuff to get himself to the front, as Hopkins and Cardwell have pretty well locked down 2nd and 3rd spot, as Cardwell maybe jumps the cushion and opens the door back up. Did I speak too soon, Jerry?
We'll find out. Majulis, Hopkins, Cardwell, C, Ruggiero down the front straightaway. Holy cow. I almost had to catch my breath. It popped up on my screen. Gage Martinez sent me a message. I can't believe it. Right during our supers here in Mimi's Makers in Motion feature here at Knoxville. They work him down into turn number 3 and 4. Majulis, Hopkins, Cardwell, C, Ruggiero. That's your top 5.
Gage Martinez, a legend in the Bang Bangers at Weber Valley Speedway. And you can see the cushion climbing the wall over there like it does on the tires in 3 and 4 down at the Valley. Blake Majulis continues to lead. He's going to come to 3 to go this time by. Drew Hopkins doing everything he can to not let Mr. Moneybags get away, but it might be too little too late. Majulis might have flipped cruise control on. He might be looking to head to the house in this one. He is comfortably out in front. Big lead, almost a second, I would say, over Hopkins. And then back to Cardwell. Evan C. may have just run out of time and technique in this one. He's going to fall short of protecting his streak here at Knoxville as the popsicle sticks are in the air from the flagman, Jerry. Just 2 to go.
2 to go as they race him on down. Majulis, Hopkins, Cardwell, C, Ruggiero, Dixon Slinger. You talked about Jerry Filippo out of Bakersfield, California. IMCA modified racer. Raced out there at Vegas during the duel in the desert and been down at Coca Pond doing some racing down there in the southeast part. When he can't, he's on with us. But tonight, speaking of on, I guarantee you he's going to be on the podium anytime he comes anywhere. It is that 127 of Blake Majulis bringing that hot rod down to Justin Clark's twin checkers. It'll be Majulis, Hopkins, Cardwell, C, Ruggiero, Slinger, Hall, Flippo, Countermarsh, and Howell, your top 10.
Unofficial results, and it is Blake Majulis winning. We will go to a quick commercial break in Victory Lane right after we get our official results here in the Mimi's Makings in Motion Super Late Model Dirt Series. It is Blake Majulis by 1.1 seconds over DHR driver Drew Hopkins. Devin Cardwell, Hopkins' teammate. comes home in third. Evan C. Ruggiero round out your top 5.
Looking at 6 on back, it'll be Dixon Slinger, Dustin Hall, Jerry Filippo out of California, Ben Countermarch, and C.J. Howell round out your top 10.
It's a good run for Countermarch, coming home in 9th. Mason Clark for Carter Speed comes home 11th. Then Hagen, Sorensen, Chase Hardy, Tanner Folds, and Corey Austin round out your top 15.
Taking a look, 16 on back, it will be Aaron Kitchen, Ethan Toter, Brad Dyer, Dustin Sizemore, and Jennifer Hunts. Your
sorry, Jerry.
20th. Go ahead. Give us our top 2, or last 2.
Nick Cooper and Shad Prescott, D1RT drivers, 17 and 27 laps down, round out the field. Again, we will be back in just a couple minutes with your Victory Lane interviews after this commercial break on Ultimate Dirt TV. And we're back here. I'm still high above Knoxville, about to make my way down to trackside to join Jerry Van Sickle and our winner. Jerry's in Victory Lane with our winner tonight. It is the 127 of Blake Majulis. Jerry, take it away.
Blake getting out of the car owner Tia Moppin there to congratulate her boy for picking up tonight's win here at the Sprint Car Hall of Fame and Museum home spot at the Knoxville Raceway. Blake, man, can you give him a chance?
Yeah, we were pretty good there for sure. I knew right off the bat we'd be kind of tight, and then it ended up being the whole race, and I was just kind of bad a tight race car and think just get it rotated enough to straight on exit. But other than that, it was honestly a struggle the whole race as far as pushing. I didn't really have a setup to run for the moisture here, and I didn't know how much it would slicken up, and I ended up going with my gut, and it worked out. So pretty thankful for that.
Yeah, it's kind of whether it's on here or in live. Knoxville, it starts off pretty narrow, and then when that thing widens out to the top, I mean, with a handful of banking, not a lot to it, it gets tricky, especially off of 2. And if you catch off of 2 and 4 just wrong, it's not going to be your friend, is it?
No, you're exactly right. Actually, especially on that slider line when you're so compressed on the shocks, and you get back on it, and it's hard because if you got your stuff set up tight, you're going to push right to the wall on that slider line with how big the cushion was. So it's kind of a hard deal, but I got it a couple times, but had a big enough lead where it didn't really matter. But it was a struggle the whole race, but obviously I had speed.
There you go. Well, a little different looking ride this week. Who do you want to thank for the win? I mean, not the difference bad, because it is a good looking hot rod, but got some of the same great sponsors, some new ones on there. Who do you want to thank for the trip here to Knoxville's Victory Lane?
Yeah, just wanted to kind of change it up with the paint a little bit. A lot of people are going to the white and gold, so just kind of trying something different. But got to thank D1RT Racing and everybody over there, Sim Seats, ML Performance, Matt Logan, and everything he does for me. You guys for broadcasting, of course. Thank you very much. Ultimate Dirt TV, Brett, Steve, everyone, they support me a lot. Folds Graphics, Bighorn Taxidermy, and everybody that watched. Thank you.
All right, Blake, we'll let you get. I'm sure Tia's already on her way to get the pro ready for you, because you got to come back and run one more. What can you take from this to go to the pros tonight?
Yeah.
You
we
lost him.
Blake, unfortunately.
Tia said let's go, and he knew it was time to run. So I turned around and he was gone. I couldn't believe it. So let's run on down. Runner-up finisher on the podium was Zach.
Yeah, a couple of Kentucky boys standing around on some black dirt here in Iowa. Zach Newton joined with Drew Hopkins, our runner-up. Drew, you ran quick time. You started on the pole. I said in the race, you're a catfish. You went to the high side, and Blake kind of got you on the bottom there. Walk us through what happened and what fueled that decision. Did you think the high side was going to be the way to go?
Well, honestly, I tried dropping down there down low the first lap there, and it just didn't really feel real comfortable to me. But Davin said we've been working on this. We've been together for 3 weeks, maybe already running podiums every week in, week out. But that set there, it would run the bottom. I just couldn't hit it for some reason tonight, and that cushion, it was just kind of big tonight, and you could just hit it perfect, and it was just more comfortable up top there than it was on the bottom tonight.
Yeah, if you see the replays here, you can see the turn 2 cushions probably 3 or 4 feet high over there. It was huge. You and Davin, though, take you out of the kind of the driver's shoe or the driver's seat for a minute. You ran 2 cars in the top 3. As a team owner, a guy with his name on the front of those cars, you got to feel pretty good.
Yeah, I know. Davin, he's just a really good driver. Just coming out here and running 2-3 with the competition. I'll take running second to Blake every day. He's really good right now. He's won all kinds of races here in the last month too. And yeah, it was a good run for DHR tonight.
Absolutely. Was any sponsors you want to thank on that vehicle?
Yeah, first and foremost, I just want to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Without him, we wouldn't be able to do this. I just want to thank my whole family, my mom and dad for watching. And I just got to give a shout out to my Aunt Karen for also watching tonight too. And to our sponsors, I just got to give a big thanks to Troy Vaughn at Bighorn Taxidermy. Derek Keltner, he's actually came on as one of our teammates at Keltner Contracting on sponsor of the team. So we're glad to have him on board. Now, I got to give a shout out to you for mine and Devin's reps here. And just like to give a shout out to Kentucky Dirt iRacing League as well. It's a league that I run. If y'all haven't checked us out, we got a few big events coming up here in December. So just go check us out. And you guys for broadcasting, everybody that puts us on, Steven and all of them.
Absolutely. Well, Drew Hopkins, again, happy to come home in second tonight and bring a team driver with him to third. And Jerry is caught up with that team driver, Davin Cardwell.
Davin Cardwell finishing third tonight. Davin, I tell you, we've been kind of watching you here. You've been a little bit on that, just right outside the top 5 the last couple shows, but finally getting this super up there into the top 3 tonight.
Oh yeah, for sure. I've had some struggles here lately with the super. I haven't really been hitting on the setup or running the top 5 lately. Been outside the top 10, but here lately, me and Drew working together, it's we're definitely paying off, and I think we'll have something in the Pro Series.
Now, have you spent more time worrying about racing that 07 go-kart or working about iRacing? Because I've been seeing you've been having some fun out still racing the karts.
We're still racing karts, but I'm really trying to get back into iRacing and just run more and run these money shows.
So yeah, we talk about that. Watching you when we went through the pandemic, that's kind of when I became known of you guys, and watched you have some big success there in the first part of this. But then, like I said, as everything opened back up, you guys went to racing back outside, didn't you?
Yeah, I was actually I feel like I was pretty decent there, pretty competitive before, and then went back racing and fell off. But we're starting to get it back, I think.
There you go. It doesn't matter what it is, whether it's going out and racing karts or watching the family with late models and the stock cars outside. If you break away from a little bit, you still got to bring that WD-40 and wash the rust off, don't you?
Oh yeah, for sure. But I really feel like we got something here, and we'll just continue to chase Blake around until we can finally beat him.
There you go. Good-looking cars. Teammates running 2 and 3 tonight. Who do you want to thank for the trip to the podium?
First, I gotta thank you guys for broadcasting. Steve for the league. Without him, we wouldn't be racing any league. So, and I also gotta thank Bighorn Taxidermy, Troy Vaughn, Kelter Contracting, Zach Newton for the wrap, and Kentucky Dirt Racing League.
All right, there you go. Top 3 finishers, Zach. Man, what a show for the Mimi's Makers in Motion Super Dirt Late Models here at the Knoxville Raceway. It was 27 strong, and they all brought their A game to the sprint car capital of the world.
27 the best on iRacing puts on a great show here at Knoxville. Blake Majulis, your winner. 2 Drew Hopkins Racing entries. Hopkins and Cardwell come home second and third. Great show all around. We'll be back in just a little bit, or at least Jerry will. I'm going to head on out. It's night time in the Newton household. Brett Wheeler and Jerry Van Sickle will bring you the Warrior Logistics Pro Late Models in just a little bit. It's ultimate dirt TV coverage of the Mimi's Makings in Motion Super Sunday, the Mimi's Makings in Motion Super Late Model Dirt Series, the World of Thunder Esports League. I'm Zach Newton for Jerry Van Sickle and Brett Wheeler. Have a great night. Stay safe. We'll see you back soon.